going to try this again. This is the delicious Nickalicious here at the Brohio Podcast Show.
And Rob Dog's right around the corner.
He's right somewhere. He's not here with me.
I'm really not.
He's somewhere trapped in space and time.
I'm on a watch list, so I'm in deep within the mountains.
We just found out that we both have warrants, and they want us together, kind of like Bonnie and Clyde. We're not going to give them that satisfaction.
Yeah. We can't.
We're going to split apart. We're going to split way apart, just like your fucking uncle used to do to your butt cheeks.
Exactly. We got to make them work for it.
I keep on
just like your uncle used to do with your butt cheeks.
I keep on seeing the video "Killed the Radio Star" memes.
Yeah,
and I'm waiting for someone to make one that says video, and it's my uncle, and then someone radio is Nick's butt. It hasn't happened.
You open the floodgates right there.
That's fine. I hope it happens.
It'll happen.
Right.
I hope so too.
And if you might not be able to tell, hopefully we're going to have some good audio this episode. We might not. Trying our best for you.
Who knows?
Who knows? But Rob's at his house. I'm at my house. We've got the strep throat plague going around my house. So instead of not doing an episode at all, we opted to do a remote recording. Hopefully it works out. Yeah,
because if I brought that stuff home, my wife would make me sleep outside, and it's really cold outside right now.
Yeah, I would sleep with her.
I wouldn't appreciate it.
I would keep her warm. Ricky, that's Ricky. Okay. That's Ricky's job.
Yeah, he just sleeps at the foot of the bed.
Like a cat. Dog. Like an old cat.
Yeah, he does.
Shits and pisses itself.
Yeah, I thought he passed away the other night down there.
Yeah, you got to watch out. I was
kind of worried.
You got to watch out for Ricky. We got to have him on a Patreon episode. I promised him he would be on a Patreon episode, so.
At least give him that much.
Speaking of Patreon, I would like to thank our new patron pledges. First off, I would like to say thank you to, I believe this is Darren or Darian. Or Darian. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But Darren, thank you so much for your Patreon pledge.
Thank you very much. Next we have DJ Schwartz.
I hope that worked out as cool as you thought it would.
Oh, it's going to.
All right. And last but not least, thank you to Mr. Paul Musial. Paul, thank you so much for your generous Patreon pledge, and to all of you that made a generous donation to our Patreon pledges. We thank you so much. We're going to be doing
Thank you guys very much.
We're going to be doing a lot of traveling coming up here soon. So we're going to have our finances in order for that, which is really exciting. We also we would also like to say happy birthday to Christy Harris. Normally she goes by Christian or Christian or Christian or Christian. I can't pronounce her first name, but she's of great assistance to the show. She does whatever we ask her. She helps out in Butt Chuggers Anonymous. She sends us maple syrup when we need it. She does it all. You know what I mean, Rob?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
And then we got a Facebook message today from Olivia Ogden. She said, "My wife, I tried to get my wife to listen to the show, but she thinks you guys fucking suck. So I want you, I want you to go on the air and tell the masses how much of an asshole she is." I said, "All right. Erica, if you're listening to the Brohio Podcast,
done.
You need to quit being so fucking frigid, all right? The Brohio Podcast is not for everyone, but it can. I've been told it raises your IQ between 7 to 300 points if you listen on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and it does. It drastically increases your libido.
It does. It does help with erectile dysfunction. I don't think
very much.
I don't think they're suffering from that though. I think that's something that you and I would have, Rob Dog.
Hey, you don't know. I'm not assuming anything.
Speaking of erectile dysfunction, I would like to discuss one of our reviews from this week, Rob.
Okay.
I don't have it pulled up right now. You got to give me just a second here. I know I sent it to you, so I got to go on my screenshots here. Yeah, there it is. All right. This
is a good one.
This review comes from, the name of the person is Old Plastic Lips. Plastic Lips. He gave us a 1-star review, and he entitled the review, "Taking a Dump is More Entertaining."
Taking a dump kind of can get entertaining.
It can. Especially when the Angry Birds drops that new release. Fucking in there.
Oh, man.
Legs falling asleep, standing up, hitting your face on the toilet rack.
I'll have like permanent divots in my knees because my elbows will be digging into them.
Well, let me tell you about sitting on the toilet for too long. Hang on, I'm going to read this review first. It says, These guys should stop wasting everyone's time and just go blow each other already.
Like I was telling you before the show, my favorite thing is they're assuming we don't do that already.
I think people would know that this podcast thing, we weren't trying to do anything with it. It was just
not at all.
It was just a cover up so you could come over and we could play tummy sticks and scissor each other.
Exactly. We never knew anything was going to happen. We were just trying to fuck.
Yeah. trying to get my fuck on. But speaking of being fat and taking a shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I don't know if you deal with this, Rob, but I've reached such a proportionate size that when I sit on the toilet, it creates a vacuum seal around it. And it gets hotter than the pits of hell inside the toilet because there's just a vacuum seal and all you have is the heat emanating off your turd, and it just turns it into you're just hot boxing down in there.
Yeah.
And when I stand up, it's like someone poured a gallon of water down my back because there's so much sweat on my ass.
That's fun. That's like a nature slip and slide.
It's so much worse than that. And if you're and sometimes if you're a little bit dirty and it's cold sweat, the sweat itches.
Oh, that's the worst.
I hate when cold sweat itches.
So bad, especially when it's your asshole.
I just get up in there. I don't care.
You gotta scratch it, then you gotta smell your fingers afterward.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about being a guy, man. What I have to smell everything. I don't care how bad it is, what it is, what it isn't. I gotta smell it, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was just me or if that was.
No, I'm the same way.
Yeah. Do you smell the toilet paper before you throw it in the?
No, I eat it.
That's got a lot of fiber in it.
I made that.
Yeah. Everyone likes the smell of their own brand.
Oh, shit.
Now, as some of you may know, we have not sold out like Metallica. I'm sure it's on the horizon, but we do offer this service. If you make something, if you produce something, if you sell something, you send it to us for free. We'll try it. If we like it, we'll plug it on the show. If we like it a lot, we'll come to your house. We'll plug you. This one, our buddy Ray, he's from Dayton. He's repping Dayton as well, from Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, man, I didn't know he's from Dayton.
He is.
Even better.
He makes Sinful beard oils. That's SYNFUL beard oils. His website is Sinful by Nature. Again, that's SYNFUL by nature.com. He sent us some beard oil, some hair product. He's got beard balms. He's got beard butter. He's got nut butter. I don't know what that is. I don't see nut butter. He's got clothing.
That's kind of scary.
It is. But the thing is, Rob, this No Shave November stuff, I've been letting my facial hair grow out. All right, so
I know you're getting there, man.
It's getting all over the place. My face looks like that sex tape that came out where ZZ Top had sex with fucking Janis Joplin, and that shit didn't even get that hairy until they took Janis Joplin's pants off. Those are the hairiest fucking knees I've ever seen in my entire life, by the way. That was completely frightening.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah. But I'm getting scraggly all over the place. I took some of this devil's breath, I think is what I used.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on my beard. My wife loved it. It made my facial hair, it made it soft. It didn't make it itchy. Yeah. It smells fantastic, Rob.
Who doesn't like to smell good?
But he's got all kinds of different stuff on there. You guys can go check him out. Sinfulbynature.com. My buddy Ray. I said if I like it, we'll plug it. Here we are. And Rob, you got to come over and get your stuff.
I do. You guys need to make the ladies want to lick your beard. That's what it's all about. There's some. I'm sitting here looking at the pictures on his website. There's some beautiful beards on there.
I think the biggest one is him because he looks like
good for him.
Someone that used to like feast on Vikings. He looks meaner than a Viking. He looks like he might fucking kill Vikings.
Like 4 months. Yeah, I went like 4 months without shaving mine, and it got pretty long. And my wife threatened my life every single day, so I had to cut it.
This beard oil though, it's. My dad tried it. He's an old school guy. He used to just put he used to put badger blood on his beard. That's what he used to put on there. But he said, ever since I started using Sinful by Nature, I've moved on from badger blood. I'm happy with the devil's breath. I'm happy with it.
Hey, nothing wrong with growing.
Nothing wrong with growing. Speaking of growing stuff, I have a really small dick until I get an erection. If you've never listened to Mariah, I'm sorry. This is fucking terrible. Trying to make you laugh remotely is a lot harder than trying to make you laugh in person.
Oh man!
Now on
you don't want to see what I'm doing over here right now.
No, I do. But on to our article of the week here. This is coming from Florida, and I think for now on, at least once a month, we should profile a story from Florida because
oh man, there's so many good stories out of Florida.
In the word,
what really
good?
Go ahead.
No, you
nope. Okay, I'll go ahead then.
Right.
What really scares me is the picture of this guy kind of looks like me if I was either missing or had an extra chromosome.
Right. It does. It really does. It says...
I hate it so much.
Yeah. A Marion County man has been arrested after deputies said he confessed to having sex with a miniature pony.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas, no relation, Anthony Sardo, 21, faces 4 counts of bestiality/sexual contact with an animal. And if you ever put your hands on Nicolicious, that's what you get charged with, is sexual contact with a fucking animal. In October...
I'm sorry, but that guy does not look 21, let's face it.
I think that's a different guy.
Okay.
That's a Florida teacher charged with secretly videotaping undressing students in a yoga studio. Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's an unrelated story.
On to our article. In October, witnesses alerted authorities that Sardo was abusing the animal, a male pony named Jackie G, deputies said. When deputies confronted Sardo, he admitted to having sex with the animal several times in a pasture on a property owned by his family in Citra. I don't know if Citra, if that's the correct pronunciation. It
looks like it.
We got some messages about Osceola and Osceola, Florida. We had to straighten that out, but hopefully it's
Areola.
Citra. Yeah, Areola, Florida. He told deputies that he wore a condom because he didn't want to get a disease from the pony. Hey, Mr. Pony, I'm all out of condoms. Can I borrow yours?
Safety's a real important issue.
I got a glad bag here in my saddlebag, so you can use that if you want. That's usually what I put on my dick to keep it clean from all the other fucking bitches out here in the pasture.
Sardo also told the detective that he knew what he was doing and it was wrong, but he was, quote, a sick man. Jackie G is owned by one of Sardo's relatives, and the pony is still in the family's care, deputy said.
Aw.
What a sad day.
Poor pony.
Yeah, every fucking day we fall further and further from God's light, and I am not happy about it.
Poor Jackie G. What did she ever do to deserve that?
And it was a miniature pony.
I know. Poor thing.
Because from my experience, there's nothing worse than having to get up on a chair or a pig trough in order to fuck the horse you're trying to have sex with. So,
yeah, fucking Seabiscuit's one thing, but you're fucking like your fucking teacup over here.
What I've learned from over the years is every time I have sex with a horse, the smaller the horse, the tighter the vagina. That's kind of like that's what I'm really working toward right here. Is the best feeling for me because. The horses, they don't feel it. They'll tell you, they'll flip their heads around, they'll look you straight in the eye. First they'll ask for a sugar cube, but they'll tell you that they can't feel it. That's the real embarrassment here. Is they really know that they're getting a human dick and not a horse dick. And they tell you how small it is. So, it's quite embarrassing for a human. Not getting caught, that didn't embarrass me. That was nothing, but...
You don't want to get a human dick and a horse dick confused.
Oh.
That's what happened to Mr. Hands.
Yeah. Gee, that's a different time and a different place, my friend.
That's a whole nother story, though.
So in this episode of the Brohio Podcast, I'm thinking this episode might be a little bit shorter than normal because of the remote recording, but we wanted to hit on a couple things here that we've talked about for a while, and this is Cartoon Conspiracies. We didn't want to leave you guys.
Oh yeah.
We didn't want to leave you guys high and dry this week, so I figured we'd cover a little something, not super in depth, but I'm thinking something. We're gonna swing for the fences next week for whatever that is. I don't know what the fuck it is, but this.
Who knows?
Yeah, this is. Just want to get something out there for you guys. So that's a roundabout.
Yeah, we record on Monday, so I'll probably figure out this week's episode around Sunday. Right.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
But first, I don't have Rob's notes in front of me, but I'll go first with the Smurfs, Rob, if that's okay with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it, man.
So the Smurfs, one thing that upsets me, we deal with a lot of in the world, is racism. But the Smurfs, they're some people are leaning towards the Smurfs possibly being a racist operation there. There's a lot of undertone about what they're trying to portray, what they're trying to convey to the masses. But some fans theorize that the Smurfs are actually white supremacists.
Oh, okay. Good for them.
Yeah. I fucking guess. The major tone of the show is about these lovable little blue beings that demonstrate extreme acts of kindness and have an overall caring nature. And if anything that I've let my kids watch Smurfs in recent years.
Oh, jeez.
I don't feel like the Smurfs, these new movies that came out, they were that bad. I didn't watch it and say, it's a bunch of goddamn grand dragons. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to kill everybody. They got their rebel flags flying around. That's why their little fucks are blue with red pants, because they're a bunch of goddamn white supremacists. I did not.
Blue power. Blue power.
I did not think that when I watched the movies, but reading about these old cartoons, I'm kind of weary here. The show's writer and creator Peyo, a.k.a. Pierre Colomore, who passed away in 1992 at the age of 64. Now, this could not be confirmed. It was written by several sources, but I could not confirm it anywhere of anyone importance that could say, yeah, he was a Nazi. But it says he was found to be a Nazi and affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan. I say that when they went through his house, he had several rooms that were, I guess, completely commemorated to the Nazis and what Hitler, the horrible acts that he committed. So what?
Yeah, which is so if it's true, fuck that guy.
Fuck you, Peyo. Fucking douchebag. The people that make these claims, and this goes for everything we discussed in this episode. We call it Cartoon Conspiracies, but a lot of these are just fan theories. And you have to dig pretty deep into the interwebs, but you can find a lot of different fan theories as far as, there's fan theories for, what's the fucking show on HBO that everyone watches?
Game of Thrones.
I don't watch it, sorry. There's fan theories.
So fucking good.
There's fan theories for that. There's fan theories for Breaking Bad, how they think it's possibly linked to The Walking Dead. Those are fan theories. That's what you see on the interwebs.
Yeah. They're interesting, though.
They are, and sometimes when you connect the dots, they make sense, and that's what happens here with the Smurfs here. And I got this first part of the research from a fucking Angel Fire. I think this is dark webs. It was evl.uic.edu, and it was an Aryan Smurf fucking.
Oh my
article.
god!
And this author says. The bad guy, Gargamel, gives a Smurf a coin in the hopes he will keep it and become greedy. The plan works, upsetting in the peaceful Smurf village. In the end, though, all is resolved when the Smurf in question shares his newfound wealth with his little blue buds. Is it just coincidence that the bad guy happens to have a Jewish name and resembles someone of Jewish descent? Why was it so awful for the Smurf to keep the coin he had found? He had every right because it was his own, yet as the structure of their society was, it was wrong for one to have more than the other. Sounds familiar, like socialism, perhaps, Rob Dog?
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit of socialism going down there in fucking Smurfville.
Oh, yeah. There's something fishy going on there. I could smell it.
And when I say, I mean all disrespect to the KKK, I absolutely do mean that.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So when you think about it, you have some visual similarities here. It's a bunch of sheet-wearing men staring at one guy, which is Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
So all these little Smurfs, you think about it, what are those fucking things they have on their heads? I mean, honestly, it looks like half.
They do look like look like Klan hats.
If you covered
really
you covered their face with the white sheets, they would it would undoubtedly look like a fucking Klan rally, unfortunately. So that's when you walk up with your fucking size 12 Timberlands and you just stomp the guts out of all those little Smurfs down there gathered around the fucking mushroom patch.
You could take out all of them too with one swift step.
Right. If you had a size wide, you just wipe out the entire Smurf universe. Honestly, if that's what you wanted to do. But and we're speaking about the Grand Dragon here, which, if you're not aware, the Grand Dragon is usually the head of the Ku Klux Klan. He traditionally wears a red pointy hat, and when you think of Papa Smurf, he wears a fucking big red, albeit red, floppy hat, just like the leader of the Ku Klux Klan there.
I know how you kids like them floppy. Oh, Papa Smurf.
Get in here and set up Papa Smurf's floppy. I mean my lap, you fucking sickos. Get in here. I'll put my red pointy hat on. Put on my red pointy.
Sit on my red floppy.
Now, in one of the episodes, the Smurfs have a spell cast upon them, and they turn black, being one of...
That's racist.
That's very racist. Being one of the only times all of the Smurfs exhibited bad, mean behavior. So,
when they were black. Oh,
right.
Jeez.
So
that's albeit of itself, that's racist.
It is fucking racist. And oftentimes the Smurfs would be seen dancing around fires, which is essentially when you go to a goddamn Ku Klux Klan rally, besides a bunch of fucking lifted trucks, it's a bunch of fucking retarded hillbillies dancing around fires. That's usually what they do at Ku Klux Klan rallies. And the main villain of the show, his name is Gargamel, which is a stereotypical Jewish man with dark hair and a super fucking long nose.
He has a huge schnoz.
He does.
He does.
And if and he also, this is all from the article I got here. This is not my fucking personal writing here. It says he lived in a nasty big house that was messy and very unkept and unclean. So I don't know. So I know about a lot of different stereotypes. I'm not familiar with Jewish people supposedly having big messy houses.
No. I don't think I've ever heard that.
If you're a listener of the Brohio Podcast show and you are Jewish and you have a messy house, write us, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. If you are a Jewish listener and you have a fucking clean house, write us, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Because I would like to settle this stereotype once and for all. Now, there was a cat that Gargamel had, and the cat's name was Azrael? I don't know how the fuck you say that.
Sure.
And this was also a German Jewish name as well. In Jewish mythology, Azrael is the angel who separates the soul from the body at death.
Yeah, that's an important job.
It is an important job. So when you go back and you connect all the fucking dots on this shit, Rob Dog, you would say that there's a bit of a racial fucking undertone here.
Definitely.
I fucking hate the Smurfs now.
Fuck them.
I would fuck one. What's the one with the blonde hair? I don't know her name. She'd get it.
I don't know.
She'd get it.
That's Katy Perry, right? Katy Perry Smurf.
Katy Perry used to be my favorite growing up as a teenager. I no longer enjoy her. I think she's a fucking weirdo. I've moved on to Zooey Deschanel. She's my favorite.
She's always been weird.
Yeah.
Katie's always been weird,
She
though.
has. But she's JonBenet Ramsey, so that's when you're carrying that burden. When we did our Doppelgangers episode, I don't remember if we talked about that or not. As far as people...
I think we did.
There's a deep, dark theory that some believe Katy Perry is actually JonBenet Ramsey. And when you...
Yeah, there's... They did like a computer mock-up of their facial analysis of like their, the way their facial features, like where they're placed on their face, and it matches up pretty much perfectly.
It's fucking insane, dude.
The ages don't match up whatsoever.
No, the ages don't match up. And the fact that JonBenet Ramsey's dead and Katy Perry's not, that also does not fucking line up. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's another one.
So before we hop into the what I have for the Simpson conspiracies, which are I shouldn't say conspiracies, it's all the times that the Simpsons fucking predicted the future, okay? They're time travelers.
That's crazy.
Going back to our time traveler episode from last week, I think that's the best. That was actually the best week we've ever had. It was really exciting.
Awesome.
So people want to hear about time travelers, Rob.
Hey, I'm all about it.
Simpsons coming to play, but hit me with one of your.
We need to get.
Hit me with one of your cartoons.
We need to get Bashago.
Do what?
Yeah, I said we need to get Bashago. We need to get that
for
interview.
Sure.
We need to keep working on that.
Yeah.
I am actually going to start with my big dog, with my Rugrats conspiracy. I think this is a large one. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have probably heard it before, but it's fun and it's dark and it's weird and I like it.
It's
it's just fun to think about it. I love having like pieces of my childhood destroyed completely and leaving me wanting to cry in a corner. That's pretty great.
This does that. It does just that.
Yeah, so this theory revolves around Angelica. Angelica Pickles, if you don't know,
Bitch.
is the bitchy cousin of Tommy Pickles, the main character. So this theory states that all of the babies never actually existed, and they were all figments of Angelica's imagination. So she actually dreams all the babies into existence to cope with her own sadness and loneliness and to give herself something to do throughout the day. Tommy's younger brother Dill, who I think he was introduced later on in the series, I think he kind of came in, I believe, at the ass end of when I stopped watching it. I think he came in. Did he come in before the movie? Sometime around there.
I think so. But anytime we're talking about babies, we can't talk about the ass end, Rob. But keep on going with your story.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
So Tommy's younger brother, Dill Pickles. Oh, look what they did! Did you see that?
I get it.
Oh my god!
I don't like pickles.
He was actually believed to be the only baby out of all of them that actually existed. And this is believed because he was the only baby that couldn't talk when all the others could. So he was more or less, they fit the characteristics of a real baby. And Angelica was unable to make him disappear whenever she got frustrated or mad with him. He was always there pissing her off and she couldn't do anything about it.
It's true.
So it is true. So let's get into what happened to the babies that, Angelica brought them into existence with. So starting with Tommy, this kind of centers around Tommy and Stu, his father. If you recall the show at all, Stu, Tommy's dad, was an inventor. He invented toys, and he was always down there in the basement tinkering away trying to make toys, and they all fucking sucked. They were all horrible. None of them fucking worked.
Stu.
They sucked.
That
Poor
motherfucker
guy.
needed a haircut and a shave too. He looked nasty as fuck all the time.
You need to do something with that purple hair. I think he had purple hair. I don't remember. So supposedly the reason that he made toys was a way for him to cope with the fact that him and his wife Dee Dee's first son Tommy was actually a stillborn.
Oh Christ! Why do we need this right now?
He was unable to properly deal with the fact that they lost the baby, and he let his work consume him as he made toys to try to fill the void that he would have had if he would have had his son.
Jesus Christ.
Chucky. The good old red-headed Chucky. Chucky's father's name was Chaz, or Charles, if you want to make it special. And you remember from the show, he was a fucking nut. He was a complete spaz.
He was a fucking flight risk for sure. He was a nut job.
Yeah, he really was. We know that from the show that Chaz's wife, or Chucky's mom, died in a car crash. The theory says that Chucky also died in the car crash with his mother, and that's why he was a complete wreck the way that he was. Phil and Lil, this is the twins. They were the DeVille twins. They were. I never really paid attention to it that much because I'm just thinking of twins. They were fraternal and identical twins, which doesn't happen. So how is this so? Well, the DeVilles, this is so dark. They actually aborted the twins during their pregnancy. Oh, fucking God. Before they found out the sex of the two babies. Now, Angelica knew that they were supposed to have twins, and she just imagined them as a boy and a girl, not knowing any better, and she assumed that they would look the same, thinking that they were going to be normal twins.
Jesus Christ.
So that's how you got a boy and girl identical twin.
And it makes sense.
Kimmy, who was... this all fits. And it's really weird. So Kimmy, who later on in the series, this is when they go to Paris, I believe this is the movie, Chucky's dad meets the mom, Kira, and it is believed that she is actually a sex worker. So he decides to marry her to take care of her and her daughter, Kimmy, and bring them back to the States. It's eventually discovered that Kira is a sex worker and a drug addict, and she loses custody of Kimmy. So Angelica, constantly hearing about Kira talk about Kimmy all these times, and how much she misses her and how much she thinks about her, this automatically gave Angelica the thought in her mind of what Kimmy might look like and for her to bring her into existence. And I think one of my favorite characters on the show, Susie.
Okay, I did get down with Susie. I liked her a lot.
Yeah, she was always on the baby side. She was pretty nice. Yeah. She is actually real. She knows Angelica's pretty much her only friend, and she knows that the babies are figments of Angelica's imagination, but she goes along with it.
She's a fucking enabler, man.
Because, she's an enabler because Angelica has had kind of a hard life.
I would say so.
So we'll get into her hard life here as well.
Who tells their 6-year-old daughter they're going to abort some twins, or like how does she even find that information out? That's horrible.
Well, I don't know if she knew that they aborted them, but I think she knew that they were pregnant with twins, but the twins never came.
Okay.
So she maybe put 2 and 2 together and just like made her up her own twins.
My God.
So and if you remember Angelica's mom, Charlotte, she had the sideways mouth, and she was always on the phone.
She reminds me of Dan Brown for sure.
She was a boss bitch. She was always on her phone doing business, and she's always preoccupied.
Yeah.
So she's never really that attentive to Angelica, and she's actually Angelica's stepmother. Her real mother was a drug addict and passed away. And
Christ.
Cynthia, the doll that Angelica carries around, with like the 4 strands of fucking hair on her head.
Yeah, I know you're talking about too.
Yeah, she carried that doll around all the time because of her biological mother.
She looked just like her mom. It looked just like a fucking crackhead.
It reminded her of her. Yeah, so she always carried it around. And this, and the fact that she doesn't get much attention, this leads the idea that Angelica invented all of the babies so she could keep busy and have someone to act out her frustrations on. It's so
Mother
sad.
of God.
It's so sad.
We need to find Angelica. We need to find Angelica.
There's so many dead babies in this story. I don't like it.
Oh, man. Do you want to hear? So, one of the things that you come to the Brohio podcast for is kind of like some shock humor, all right?
Yeah.
This was a joke that I heard in prison. This is not my joke, but it goes along with what you just said, Rob, about the dead babies.
Oh, okay.
Do you know the hardest part about running through a field of dead babies? My
dick.
I don't. That's fucking awful.
I was not expecting that at all.
That's the worst, dude.
That's fucking horrible.
That's not original material. That's someone that came to me and told me that joke. And I told them at the time, I said, I don't like that fucking joke. So I'm telling everyone that's listening right now, I do not like that joke. So, but I do like to clue you in to my life experiences. Kind of like how I told you earlier about my penis not being very big until I get an erection. So that's
yeah.
Kind of goes hand in hand there. Okay. So let's hop on to the Simpsons wiener for just a second, for lack of a better term.
I'm ready.
I wrote, was it Matt Groening, the creator of this Groening?
Matt Groening.
I wrote him, and I wrote the voice of Bart Simpson. Neither one of them returned emails to the Brohio podcast. So they had their opportunity to give their side of the story. Not that it fucking mattered, but nonetheless, we tried to have a big interview for you guys. Didn't work out. So
sorry.
Very sorry. Now,
Matt Groening, I think we got an interview with Matt Groening that'd probably make my life.
Well, I looked on the website. He has no usually I can find media contacts or agents. There's not a lot for him. The only thing I could find out is it cost $175,000 for him to appear or speak or
Woo!
So he's getting $175K just to show up and fucking shake his big belly.
Good for him.
Good for him, exactly.
Hey, I can't hate it.
Yeah. Do what you do, playa.
Yep.
But through all the years, all the 20 some odd years, has it been 30 years yet for the Simpsons? I don't know what year they started.
89. Yeah. I think 89 it started.
Almost 30 years through time, the Simpsons have remained a constant on the Fox network here in America. I know that they get versions of the Simpsons all over the world, which I think is pretty cool because I watched an episode with Matt Groening where he did an interview with it might have been Jimmy Fallon or Conan O'Brien. I think it was Conan, but he was talking about he met the creators of the French Simpsons, the people that portray the voices of the Simpsons in France, and
Okay.
he was talking to the Homer from France, and I guess the Homer from France during translation or whatever, the Homer from America says "don't." That's like his, that's his catchword.
Yeah,
But in France, the first time that Homer heard it, he heard it as toe. So on the French Simpsons, when Homer gets kicked in the dick by Bart or something, he goes toe. like you got hit the fucking toe or something. So it's a worldwide phenomenon. The Simpsons, that is. But we have in front of us a list from, I think it might have been USA Today or Time Magazine, a large news outlet, about all the times the Simpsons have predicted the future. Now, going all the way back to episode 1, season 22, MIT professor Bengt Holmstrom won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2016, 6 years after he was bet on to win the Nobel Prize on The Simpsons. So there's a scorecard that's I guess passed around when Martin, Lisa, Database, and Milhouse, they all bet on the Nobel Peace Prize winner, and fucking lo and behold, this Bengt Holmstrom guy, he was on their betting card 6 years before he actually won the Nobel Peace Prize. So of all the coincidences and conspiracies here, that's a pretty long stretch to get that right 6 years after the fact.
It's oddly specific.
It's very specific. But they pride themselves, the Simpsons do, on having highly intelligent and highly educated individuals that write the show. So you're not getting dickheads like Rob and I writing the fucking script. These are people that have graduated from Yale and Harvard, and they've done a lot of things with their life. So
yeah, it was the same way with Futurama.
Right.
They did the same thing. So his writers are only the most intelligent people that he can get.
And it shows.
Yeah.
In season 6, episode 19, The Simpsons introduced the idea of a watch you could use as a phone in an episode that aired in 1995, nearly 20 years before the Apple Watch was released. Now, that one, I think we would have eventually got to the phone watch, but you got to think about all the time, all the James Bond and all the people that have probably used telephones on their watches before The Simpsons actually did. But
yeah, I think 95, man. I think that's like early cell phone era too. That's like
it was early.
Yeah, that's like Zach Morris' phone.
It was.
Yeah.
And they also season 23, episode 22 in 2012, in 2012, Lady Gaga performed for the town of Springfield, hanging in midair. 5 years later, she flew off the Houston NRG Stadium roof in real life to perform her Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay, now that one very well could be explained as her seeing that and decided to follow that. But still.
Right. Still pretty cool.
But still, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Fucking Rihanna turned that shit down this year. She said, I'm not going to the fucking Super Bowl, not until you guys free Colin Kaepernick.
There's been a couple people that have turned it down from what I've heard.
And listen, I'm a patriot, okay? I love this country. I love what you can do in this country. But I don't know. That situation, I could not give any less of a fuck about, honestly. I know you're waiting for...
I get it, but I mean, it's, it is what it is to me. I don't watch football. I watch... Every now and then I'll watch a Bengals game because that's the only real team I care about. But besides that, I don't watch it.
Don't call the Bengals a real team. They lost the fucking Browns this weekend.
I can't even hate on the Browns. It's too difficult nowadays.
In season 6, episode 8, they predicted the autocorrect. I forget the circumstances surrounding that, but that's at the infancy of The Simpsons as well. Now, Apple went on to say that yes, the inspiration for autocorrect on the keyboard for the iPhones was actually drawn from The Simpsons. So not only are The Simpsons predicting the future, but they are fucking inspiring $1 trillion businesses. That's the Simpsons.
That's awesome.
That's the Simpsons for you.
Yeah. They have that much influence. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Tell them, are you in sync with my notes here? You tell them about the faulty voting machines.
Yeah, faulty voting machines. This is season 20, episode 4. In 2008, The Simpsons showed Homer trying to vote for Barack Obama in the U.S. general election, but a faulty machine changed his vote.
I'll tell you what, the Smurfs didn't fucking vote for Obama. I know that.
Definitely not. 4 years later, a voting machine in Pennsylvania had to be removed after it kept changing people's votes for Barack Obama to ones for his Republican rival Mitt Romney.
That's so fucking...
That's so schemy.
That's Russia right there, buddy.
Oh, geez.
Russian
That's a racist
meddling.
machine.
It is a racist machine. Speaking of Russian meddling, I keep on turning on YouTube for the baby on the Kindle, and she goes from innocent cartoon babies playing with rubber ducks, into like fucking Russian mafia style meetings where people are getting broken vodka bottles shoved into their necks, like blatant Russian language, like I'm like, what are you doing? We got to turn this off. I'm not trying to get the NSA over here, Rob Dog. And we've talked about it before, the wormhole that is YouTube.
Oh, it's wild.
You just keep clicking, bro. You can go places you never thought you would fucking go.
I'm the same way. Like if if I'm tagged in like a video on Facebook, I'll watch that video, and then you know how videos pop up after it?
Yeah.
I'll sit there and I'll just scroll through the videos and watch until I find something that I like.
Yeah, I'll watch a video of like a casserole being made, and 20 minutes later I'm watching 700 people fight in a parking lot when a helicopter crashes in it and kills everybody.
My favorite thing is whenever I see someone share a fight video, because I know related are going to be a bunch of other fight videos, so I'm like, fuck yes.
I like street
fights. I can't wait to
fights,
see this guy get knocked out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Like watching people get ran over by cars and shit.
Yeah, hit in the head with shovels and shit.
Yeah. Now, next is the invention of the tobacco plant.
My favorite episode.
Season 11, episode 5. In 1995, Homer uses nuclear energy to create a hybrid of tomato and tobacco plants, the tobacco. This inspired U.S. Simpsons fan Rob Bauer to create his own plant. In 2003, Bauer grafted together a tobacco root and a tomato stem to make tobacco. Writers for The Simpsons were so impressed that they invited Bauer and his family to their offices and ate the tobacco fruit themselves.
That's so awesome.
That's fucking... That's some trusting shit right there,
That's
buddy.
one of the episodes when I think of The Simpsons that I think of that episode. Yeah. I loved that one.
I'm not the biggest Simpsons fan. I'll watch it when it's on.
I used to be.
It is a cult. It is a cult thing.
Yeah.
The Simpsons are. I mean,
you
like
it or you don't.
Right. I'm in the middle. I would lean more towards liking it, but I'm more of a Family Guy kind of dude. So.
I like it. I just don't watch it anymore. I don't have a problem with it. It's the longest running show in history for a reason.
Yeah. Tell them about the Ebola outbreak.
I'm all about the Ebola. Season 9, episode 3. Some people maintain that The Simpsons predicted the 2014 outbreak of Ebola 17 years before it actually happened. In a scene from the episode Lisa's Sax, not sex, Marge suggests a sick Bart read a book titled Curious George and the Ebola Virus. I must have missed that one. The virus wasn't particularly widespread in the 90s, but years later it was the top of the news agenda. Ebola was first discovered in 1976, and though this latest outbreak has been the worst yet, it killed 254 people in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1995 and 224 in Uganda in 2000.
Jesus
Christ,
I
remember the Ebola outbreak. That shit was wild.
Oh, that was scary shit, dude.
Yeah.
Now, in episode 1 of season 8, the discovery of the Higgs-Boson equation. In a 1998 episode called The Wizard of Evergreen Terrace, Homer Simpson becomes an inventor and is shown in front of a complicated equation on a blackboard. According to Simon Singh, the author of The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets, quote, the equation predicts the mass of the Higgs-Boson particle. It was first predicted in 1964 by Professor Peter Higgs and 5 other physicists, But it wasn't until 2013 that scientists discovered proof of the Higgs boson in a 10.4 billion pound or 13 billion USD dollars experiment.
It's a lot of bread.
I am not a scientist, Rob, nor do I proclaim to be one. But I know that Higgs shit, that's some pretty heavy shit. And for them to have similar equations just like casually hanging out on blackboards, there's some fuck shit going on, Rob. I don't
There's
like
definitely
it.
somebody that knows what they're doing. That's for sure. They have to.
They're fucking time travelers. That's all there is to
Maybe.
it.
Could be.
It's disgusting. All right, take number 7 here.
Season 6, episode 19. The Lisa's Wedding episode from 1995 came with a lot of unexpected predictions. During Lisa's trip to London, we see a skyscraper behind Tower Bridge that looks eerily similar to the Shard, and not the Shart, but the Shard. And
I've shot it.
and that is even in the right location. Construction on the building started in 2009, and this episode's from 1995, so this is 14 years later.
Jeez, man.
It's crazy, man.
There's so much stuff that I would understand if it was a couple things, but they've got shit all over the place here. Season 6, episode 19, Robotic Librarians. In Lisa's Wedding, we discover that librarians have been replaced with robots in the Simpsons universe. More than 20 years later, robotics students from the University of Aberystwyth built a prototype for a walking library robot, while scientists in Singapore have begun testing their own robot librarians.
Coming for everyone's jobs, man.
Coming to get y'all shit.
Oh, jeez. Go on to the next one.
All right. We'll just we'll
rotate
back and forth here.
Season 5, episode 19. 1994, Lunch Lady Doris used assorted horse parts to make lunch for the students at Springfield Elementary.
Oh, shit.
9 years later, the Food Safety Authority of Ireland found horse DNA in over 1/3 of beef burger samples from supermarkets and ready meals, and pig in 85% of them. That's
holy shit,
it's
dude.
funny because Bob's Burgers had an episode about horse meat too, so that's pretty great.
That's fucking gross.
So bad. I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it, but still.
Yeah, dude, everything's fine with a little bit of Miracle Whip and mustard on it, honestly.
I've put worse in my mouth.
Yes, you have.
Hey.
Season 5, episode 10, Siegfried and Roy Tiger Attack. They didn't fucking foreshadow anything here. You knew these stupid fucks were going to get eaten by a goddamn tiger.
Definitely.
The Simpsons parodied, right. The Simpsons parodied entertainers Siegfried and Roy in a 1993 episode called Springfield. That's a $sign for the S.
Hey.
Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling. During the episode, the magicians are viciously mauled by a trained white tiger while performing in a casino. Flash forward 10 years, 2003, Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy. Siegfried is a pretty fancy name. Roy Horn, he sounds like he might be a fucking sister fucking hillbilly, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Roy was attacked during a live performance by Monocore, one of their white tigers. Why has it got to be a white tiger? Roy lived, but sustained severe injuries in the attack.
Good for that
And
tiger.
I remember
Good for that tiger.
He then undoubtedly that tiger was probably living a fucking miserable life.
Yep.
He just said,
Getting beat.
you know, people are expecting this. The Simpsons softened it up for me. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, honestly.
Might as well. Let's go to the next one. This is going to be way back. Season 2, episode 18, Letter from the Beatles. In 91, an episode of The Simpsons saw the Beatles, Ringo.
The Beagles.
I was mixing up Beatles and Ringo. It really does sound like a beagle. Good job. They saw the Beatles' Ringo Starr diligently answering fan mail that had been written decades ago. In September 2013, two Beatles fans from Essex received a reply from Paul McCartney to a letter and recording that they sent to the band 50 years ago. The recording was sent to a London theater the band was due to play at, but was found years later in a car boot sale by a historian. So in 2013, the BBC, The One Show, reunited the pair with their letter, plus a reply from McCartney. That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty fucking cool. Even though the Beatles fucking suck, but that's still a cool story.
It's still cool.
Nonetheless, it is cool. Number 2 on the list here, The Censorship of Michelangelo's David, Season 2, Episode 9.
I remember this one.
An episode from 1990 titled Itchy and Scratchy and Marge showed Springfieldians protesting against Michelangelo's statue of David being exhibited in the local museum, calling the artwork obscene for its nudity. And David did not have a huge schlong. He had a whole lot of pubic hair, little dick, big balls, little dick, a lot of hair. The satire of censorship came true in July 2016 when Russian campaigners voted on whether to clothe a copy of the Renaissance statue that had been set up in Central Street, Petersburg.
That blows my mind.
It does, man. That's some 20 some odd year, 26 years later that fucking happened. I mean, that's the same thing.
The fact that they would want to clothe a sculpture that was done so long ago.
But here's my thing. I don't think they were clothing it because it was a dick. I think they were clothing it because how horrid his fucking pubic hair was. Have you seen that statue before?
Yeah, it's not an attractive penis at all.
That is the most bushy fucking man bush that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Maybe they just weren't happy that it was 2016 and the thing still had a bush that big.
I'm from Russia and I don't like to cut my ball hair. I prefer to have big bushy dick. And anytime they put statue of David out, it makes me look like I don't have bushy dick. Therefore, we cover up his bushy dick to make my bushy dick look like ultimate bushy dick.
Good old bushy dick.
If you've got a bushy dick, write the Brohio Podcast. We can be reached brohiopodcast@gmail.com. That's brohiopodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to send a picture of your bushy dick, do it on our Snapchat @Brohio Podcast. We also have an Instagram @Brohio Podcast. Hit us up on there. Send us disappearing pictures of your bushy dick.
Please don't.
Speak for yourself, Rob Dog.
Oh,
Speak for your fucking self. Why don't they just fucking blow each other and get it over with?
This is just a scam to get all the dick pics.
Oh, Jesus.
Season 2, Episode 4. In this episode from 1990, Bart catches a three-eyed fish named Blinky in the river by the power plant, which makes local headlines. More than a decade later, a three-eyed fish was discovered in a reservoir in Argentina. Strangely enough, the reservoir itself was fed by water from a nuclear power plant. Who would have fucking thunk it?
That makes plenty of sense to me.
Absolutely.
That can happen anywhere.
I feel like you should worry if you see a three-eyed fish not by a nuclear power plant. And that's when you should stress out.
For sure. Now, Season 10, Episode 5, Disney buys 20th Century Fox. On December 14th, 2017, Disney purchased 21st Century Fox for an estimated $52.4 billion. Yes, that's billion. Acquiring Fox's film studio, 20th Century Fox, in addition to a bulk of its television production assets. The media conglomerate will also have access to popular entertainment properties like X-Men, Avatar, and The Simpsons. So, if your fucking worst nightmare was for The Simpsons to be ran by Disney, that's what's happening here.
Man, that's wild. They're slinging that big dick.
Dude, Disney, they honestly, they have their hands on everything.
$52.5 billion. That's so much money.
Is it cool if we write you a check, or do you want that in churros?
Because have you ever tasted the churros at Disney before?
Yeah.
That's fucking currency, bro.
It's godly.
It is. Now tell them about the, I'm going to skip past the curling here because we're at a fucking hour already.
Okay.
There was something in here about, I did not put it on here.
Okay, yeah.
In one episode, there was article.
They have the Trump thing, too.
Yeah, they predicted Trump becoming elected president.
Right.
But in one episode, they pass a comic book. And in the comic book, it says, on the cover of the comic book, when they pass it, it says the comic book cost 9 cents. Well, there's a huge 9 on the front of the comic book. And to the right of the 9 are the two twin towers from the trade towers in New York City. This was far before 9/11 happened, but think about it. That's a coincidence? I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's wild.
What kind of people do they have on their staff?
Time travelers, it has to be.
And you should have been there the day that they're like, we should make an episode about Donald Trump becoming president. And everyone's like,
like you and I both know that will never fucking happen.
That's a good joke.
Yeah, that's the funniest joke. We should use it because this is a comedy show.
Flash forward however many years later, Donald Trump on the sidewalk in front of the Trump suites there in New York City. I've decided I'm going to run for president of the United States of America.
Yeah, he's came a long way since he helped Kevin McAllister find his hotel room.
I think he got fucking tombstoned by Kane, too. He got fucked up in the WWE. Maybe that was Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Or he got a stone cold stunner, maybe.
He got stunnered, yeah, because it was the worst sell ever. His old another flappy body just like flopped on the ground.
Yeah, Jesus. Could you imagine like how Melania feels? Everything aside from what he is, what he stands for, but just imagine being a fucking supermodel. And this he looks like a busted can of fucking biscuits is what he looks like. Like someone took a Pillsbury canister and stabbed it with a screwdriver. He's climbing up on top of you, just ready to lay some man on you. And then Stormy Daniels said he did not shave, that he absolutely had a Michelangelo David Bush.
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. I bet he did. I've heard like he drinks like 14 Cokes a day or something like that.
Diet Cokes, yeah.
That's fucking that's ridiculous.
He pisses and it burns a hole in the porcelain.
Right. It's just brown, looks like motor oil.
Oh, God, this is too much politics for the Brohio podcast. Let's talk about Garfield for a second.
Sure.
In this comic strip from 1989, Garfield the cat wakes up in an old abandoned house without John, his owner, or his stupid fucking dog friend Odie. He starts to completely lose his mind as he tries to find them until suddenly they both appear out of nowhere. The strangest part of this strip is the final scene that reads, quote, "An imagination is a powerful tool. It can tint memories of the past, shape perceptions of the present, or paint a future so vivid that it can entice or terrify, all depending upon how we conduct ourselves today. It's unclear whether this comic strip has dark implications for the rest of the series, or if the author Jim Davis was just having a little fun messaging with the readers. But the fan theories is that this whole entire story of Garfield is based around the fact that he's actually a starving cat, and he's having hallucinations that he sees John and Odie, who are completely unrelated to him, or possibly where he used to live at. But the whole premise of the story of Garfield is that he's a wandering, starving cat, and he's so hungry that he's hallucinating everything he sees and does. That's why he's always, so fancy for the lasagna.
I was gonna say,
Garfield likes to...
Makes you wonder what he was really eating then.
Yeah. Eating pussy. He was eating chewing on his own claw and stuff. He would chew on his hand. It would be him eating pussy.
He was gnawing on his own ass.
It's nasty, but that's what you would call it. Yeah. It would be sad to think of a cat just starving like that.
Yeah, that's really sad.
At the Brohio podcast show, we like kitty cats. Old Cemetery Terry, he's up there. He got him a basket. He walks around the cemetery with a bag of kitty cats, some meow mix. He walks around feeding all the cats. He says, "Hey, kitty, you don't get too close to the booby traps because they bop. Those booby traps, they'll go boop, boop, bop, and they'll blow up and they'll blow your little kitty head off. But if you come over here to Cemetery Terry, you can eat some kitty cat food out of my hand if that's what you like to do. We'd like to do it real nice and soft and gentle. If you like Cemetery Terry, he'll help you stay away from the booby traps."
Cemetery Terry probably has the shittiest of kitties.
I would say he does for sure.
Definitely.
He's probably been in some shitty kitties.
Yeah,
Sure,
definitely.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you got next on your list, Rob?
On my list next, it's the Fairly Odd Parents. Why not? Let's
Parents,
stick with Nickelodeon.
Parents. I never watched that.
Really?
I never watched that fucking show.
I really liked it.
That's because you're a fucking Al Qaeda.
That's because I never really grew up. Let's see here. I really didn't. It's kind of sad. Timmy Turner has an evil babysitter named Vicky. So during this pilot episode where Vicky makes her first appearance is also the same episode that Cosmo and Wanda, his fairly odd parents, quote the name, where they come into existence. So they pretty much tell him, well, you have a shitty life. I
like to tell. Why do I like to tell my kids that all the time when they wake up? I'm like, it's time for school. Like, oh, I'm like, you got a shitty fucking life. Get up. Let's fucking.
Yeah, you have a shitty life. We're here to help. We're gonna grant you wishes. We're gonna get this shit done together. This is what we're doing. So, but as according to this theory, the Fairly Odd Parents never existed. What it really was, these two actually stood for prescription drugs. So, Cosmo and Wanda, according to this theory, represent this. Cosmo represents Zoloft, and Wanda represents Prozac, which Timmy is...
Give me a couple of both.
Timmy is ultimately, diagnosed with both in this theory. And these are drugs that you would get for depression and anxiety. Zoloft being a drug that would make you more excitable, and Prozac being one that would make you more focused. So in the show, when Timmy overuses Cosmo and Wanda, the magic doesn't work anymore, or he becomes bored with it. Just like if you were to use drugs long enough, you're going to build up such a tolerance to it that they don't quite work as well as they used to. And even when you go a little bit farther to the other fairies that are in the show, like Jordan Von Strangle, Wandissimo, they're all believed to be other drugs throughout Timmy's experiences as well, which include steroids and Viagra. And then
hell yeah, give us some of that shit.
Get this 9-year-old boy some Viagra. There's also anti-fairies.
You want to see my baby dick?
And anti-fairies represent hard drugs, something like heroin and pixies. Pixies in the show, they don't perform magic, so they're kind of thought as placebos. So all in all, Timmy didn't have fairy godparents. He had depression and anxiety.
Drugs.
We've all been there.
That's a good segue to my last fan theory here, my last story.
All right, I'm ready.
This is about Disney's Snow White, and I think your last one is Disney princesses as well, right?
It is.
All right, well let's go with Snow White here. It's a long-held fan theory that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is one big metaphor for cocaine addiction, just like the old Uncle Cracker song. Oh, swim through your veins like a fish in the sea. That Uncle Cracker song's about heroin.
Was that about drugs too?
Yep. Though it may seem like the internet just can't leave children's movies alone, there's actually a lot of material to work with in this case. The name of the main character, Snow White, is an obvious nod to the drug itself. That's pretty fucking self-explanatory right there.
Yeah.
But where things get interesting is with the Seven Dwarfs. The dwarves, who are named according to their personalities, match up perfectly to the stages of cocaine addiction and withdrawal. Happy and grumpy symbolize mood swings. Dopey, sneezy, and sleazy. I'm sorry. Dopey, sleazy,
I've been there.
And sleepy are nods to actual stages of being on the drug. And of course, there's Doc there to cure them all. Would it be going too far to say that Snow White's deep sleep could actually be considered an overdose? That's one magical Prince Charming to bring her out of a drug-induced coma. Dude, and I've heard, a lot of. I haven't heard. I just read shit that Disney puts a lot of fucking weird shit in their movies. For instance, the sex stuff in the clouds in the movies, and
Lion King. Yeah.
There's a giant, powerful dick on the cover of the Little Mermaid movie. There's just all kinds of fucking weird shit going on in Disney movies that they hide. Who
to you is the hottest Disney princess?
For me,
I'm putting you on the spot. Which cartoon character would you like to fuck the most?
Well, I would have to go with Ursula because I'm more of like a big bottom on my bitches.
That's a bad bitch.
That's a big old bitch. I want to fuck somebody that's I want someone that's gonna take me to Golden Corral afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm particularly fond of Ariel.
Me too.
Because she sounds like Areola.
Yeah.
And usually when I go to Disney, she's the most attractive.
Yeah, that I would agree.
That's pretty fucking sick.
Fishy pussy or all in all.
Yeah, and I've heard that Ariel likes to be peed on too because she's already into waterworks and shit. So
there you go.
Hey, baby girl, you like to be pissed on? Better be pissed on than pissed off, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Are you into being peed on, Rob?
No. I'll do some.
Not anymore, you're not.
I'll do some peeing, but I'm
not ever since I had that urinary tract infection. You're not.
Yeah, that orange piss really turned me off.
Why is it coming out like pudding?
Oh no!
Is this piss or tapioca?
Jesus Christ! Oh, sorry. We had a little Windows Defender alert. Thank you, fucking Windows, for that.
I think this goes to the last one here.
Yeah, it does.
Which is my 3, which was actually a pretty good. This was trending for a while, for a couple year or two ago.
Definitely, there's some lines to be connected here, some dots to be connected, I guess.
Yeah, connect these dots. So this pretty much ties together Frozen, Tangled, Little Mermaid, and Tarzan. So this one is, like I said, is pretty popular, and it does actually have some truth to it. So in the opening of Frozen, during the song for the first time, which this Frozen has the most obnoxious soundtrack I've ever heard in my life, probably because I've heard every single song 33,000 times, and that's probably undercutting it. In the opening, for the first time, Anna rushes out of the castle. When she rushes out of the castle, in the bottom left hand of the corner of the screen, you can see a glimpse of 2 characters, which is Rapunzel and Flynn. I remember whenever they pointed this out, I thought that was kind of cool because Disney always throws in little Easter eggs in their movies.
I love them so much.
Yeah. And but there was, I think this was all from a user on Tumblr where they connected all these dots and kind of thought of this. And then we'll get into a little bit of. There was a Q&A done that they actually answered some questions about. So we know from that these movies exist in the same universe.
Right.
We know that Frozen is supposedly thought to be Norway, and Tangled took place in Germany. And this is all based off of the different the way the buildings are made, the sculptures, the layout of the land. It all makes sense. And with some of these, they fit fairy tales, the fairy tales these are based off of were set in those areas. So
it wouldn't, down with that.
Yeah, exactly. And it wouldn't be uncommon to think that royals would attend big events. So that makes sense that Rapunzel and Flynn would be to a coronation ceremony in Frozen. So if that, why would they be in that sequence in the first place if there was really no other reason besides an Easter egg? Well, this is the theory that this bases it on a 3-year span, and it starts with this specific situation here. We know that during the I think it was do you want to build a snowman, that we figure out that Anna and Elsa's parents rush out of the castle, they board a ship, they leave to go, which theory says, to Germany for Rapunzel's coronation celebration, which happened at the end of the movie Tangled, but while en route their ship sank.
Now, fucking died, Rob.
Since the boat was traveling from Norway to Germany, it isn't too far-fetched to think that it would have been close or it would have passed by Denmark. Now, Denmark is where The Little Mermaid takes place. And during The Little Mermaid, there's a time where Ariel and Flounder are searching a shipwreck. So it is believed that shipwreck was actually the parents' ship whenever they crashed.
God damn, that's heavy.
So during an AMA on Reddit, one of the directors, Jennifer Lee, was asked, where were the king and queen planning to go when they lost their lives at sea? And one of the directors, Jennifer Lee, said, a wedding. According to Chris Buck, who is another director, they didn't die on the boat. They got washed up on the shore in a jungle island. The queen gave birth to a baby boy. They built a treehouse. They get eaten by a leopard. Fucking Tarzan.
Tarzan, dude.
It's fucking Tarzan. So they're putting all these, all these thoughts into their movies where they're pretty much bridging a gap between all of them.
They definitely are.
And there's another one, and I don't remember. I think it was in Brave. And I don't have this written down, so this might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was in Brave that whenever they go to the witch's lair or something like that, there is like a tablet that has, or like a piece of wood or something that has an etching of Sully from Monsters Inc. on it.
Okay.
So those are kind of tied together, and it's believed that the little girl from Monsters University or Monsters Inc., one of the two, I don't remember which one it was. I want to say her name was Boo, but I might be wrong. That she is actually that
Boo.
old Boo. Yeah, that she's actually that old witch in Brave. So that's kind of cool too. If you want something else kind of weird to look up on, that.
Jesus, man, that's some heavy shit.
Yeah, but just the fact that all three of those could be related, and the fact that
sounds like they undoubtedly are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the fact that if Anna and Elsa's parents are the parents also of Tarzan, that's fucking pretty sweet.
It is pretty fucking sweet.
I don't care who you are.
Super
Any way
babies.
you slice it, that's pretty cool.
Super babies.
Mm-hmm. They got good
Well, I
genes.
guess that concludes our cartoon fan theories conspiracy episode.
Yay!
I'm feeling some true crime next week, maybe.
Okay.
Something really fucking bloody and messy.
All right.
Or something super fucking scary, man.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for either one of those.
I know you lean towards the scary stuff. I want to find something so scary that people turn it off.
Yeah, I want to get so scared I get horny.
Yeah, maybe like another 911 episode with some scary sounds.
Yeah,
People
I love sounds.
Yeah,
And
people
when we can put like production into it, I think that's pretty cool.
People have been screaming for it, but
Yeah, we'll figure it
I
out.
think
We'll let you know.
This is a fun episode. Hopefully the sound thing works out.
We'll find out. If not, looks like you guys aren't getting an episode this week.
Yeah.
My name's Bill Wilkins, and I'm 73 years old, and I died in my own shit.
There he is.
In your last
Bill.
episode, you talked about time traveling.
Yeah, we did.
Did you know I used to be a time traveler?
No. Tell me a little bit about that.
In 1986, I went to Dayton, Ohio. It was February. And I met your mother, Rob Dog.
Okay.
And she said she wanted some fucking pizza. So I gave her a piece of this demon dick.
Okay.
And she said she wanted to do something kinky.
Okay.
So I chewed up some pizza and I spit it in her butt.
Sounds like mom.
And that's where you came from. You chewed up pizza in your mother's butt.
It's funny because I don't know my dad in real life, so this is very plausible, Mr. Wilkins. I'm a mixture between my mom and a piece of pizza.
Yeah, Bill Wilkins is a time traveler.
That explains a lot.
He went to 1986, but he died when he went back to, I think he died in the 70s, but
I don't know.
fucking Bill. Always looking for something to upset someone or just
Yeah, he
get
is.
bad feelings riled up. I don't like that, Bill.
He's so mean.
I didn't light the candle. That's why he was here today. That usually when I light the
Okay.
candles, he doesn't show up. But since
Yeah.
you weren't here, I didn't light the candles.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you guys like the episode? Tell us. If you hated it, let us know. We would
You
love
will.
for you to leave-
You'll let us know.
we would love for you to leave us a review on iTunes. Hopefully that's a 5-star review. If you want to leave a 1-star that says just fucking suck each other's dicks and get it over with, go ahead and do that too.
Well, we're going to suck each other's dicks anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you leave.
Undoubtedly. But
Right.
thanks for listening. We're going to cut this up and piece it together. Hopefully it works out. So
We love you.
love you.
Don't ever
Talk to you.
don't ever let anybody tell you that nobody loves you, because we love you at Brohio.
We dig you. We'll dig up in your guts and we dig you. So
Yeah, we'll poop or we'll poop. We'll spit
pee.
pizza into your asshole.
we'll pee in your butts.
We'll poop in your butt.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
listening.
guys.